If something goes crazy, somebody just let me know, okay? Because I'm operating a lot of tabs right now. Okay, so first and foremost, we do need to go to our Launchpad, sign in, and to get into Lightspeed, we just click the icon. Mine may pop up the admin side, but I'll get into the classroom side of it. And if you're not familiar with this at all, guys, this is how we are managing student devices, how we're monitoring their screens, how we're setting up groups, setting up certain sites from being accessed, blocking them, allowing them on other sites, and much more, much more. I'm gonna have to sign in with my Google account. You may have to do the same. My single sign-on doesn't work, so I have to click Google. And it usually lets me in.
I have to go in the same way.
Okay. So it's not just me.
No, it's pretty standard, I think.
Okay.
All right, Donielle, I see you're up.
Yeah, yay, I'm up. Okay, so this is like what the dashboard looks like. It should be auto-populated if you're a teacher of record, you have classes enrolled, students enrolled in classes, but you can always create your own class. Let's say you have an after-school study group or a testing group, or if you have an ISS group. And right here, there'll be a button that'll say add class, and you can add a class there. Or you can even, clicking the 3 dots will allow you, it's just gonna give you some more options. So 3 dots for everything is gonna be like your more options. So let's say I had it auto synced and I had 2-second periods. One of them was like my inclusion support kiddos, one was my regular rostered kiddos. I don't want 2 classes. So what I could do is I could click merge classes and it would merge those 2 classes. So if you're in a situation where you have multiple sections of a class, that's where you go for that. If that's not you, then you don't have to worry about that. You are able on the dashboard to manage these by moving them and dragging them around if you would like. So that's just a feature that you have, and you'll have that within each class too with the students, that ability to drag. So I'm going to go ahead and jump in.
Donielle, let me ask you something real quick. Now that you're talking about the merging classes, I don't know if Miss Parga, our STEM teacher, got in the online training today, but I know she had a situation where in her screen she sees everyone she services from kinder all the way to 5th grade. So she was wondering if there was a way to create the class, but not having to go grab one kid at a time. So isn't that supposed to be already set up for her still?
She can have her contact me about that, and I will.
Okay.
I'll deal with her on that.
Yeah. Okay. Then I'll let her know. That was the only question we had, because she knows exactly how to use it. It was just it's every single student from K through 2nd.
There are ways to do it on the back end. So have her contact me, and I'll take care of that.
I'll do that. Thanks.
Okay, so I just started up I clicked on one of my classes, and I actually have a class in session. Let me see if I can, just a second. I have this class in session. So let me end a class and I'll show y'all how you can start up yours. Okay, so this is just my class right here. Obviously, it says class is not in session because I haven't started my class yet. So there's a couple different ways that you could start your classes. You have some options. Up here, it says the class is not in session. You can do an ad hoc schedule. So an ad hoc schedule is just if you just want to on the fly start a class, which is probably what I'm going to do right now. You can choose from the drop down how long you want that class to run for. So I just had to do this the other day where I just wanted to jump in and see if one of my kids was working on his work while he was in with another teacher. So I started up an ad hoc class just for 15 minutes. And that's how you would do that. You can also, the admins can set up a bell schedule. So I'm the admin for my campus. So I went ahead and I set up a bell schedule and I just click that this is my 2nd period class. If it was my 3rd period, I'd click my 3rd period and you hit save settings and it will automatically start that class at that time. So that's also really nice because it's automatically doing it for you. You don't have to go in and start a class. You can color code your classes if you feel like an extra little I don't know, fancy. I don't use that. You could though. And then you also have like a custom tab as well. Once again, I don't use that one. I usually just use the bell schedule, or I'll use the ad hoc where I'll just start up like a 45-minute session or a 30-minute session. Okay, so I'm actually going to start up this session real fast. I'm just going to click 45 minutes and start. And any of my kids that are in my second period that are signed on to the Chromebooks that are active, I'll start to see their screens populating on my screen. There is a little lag. It's a little worse than GoGuardian, but it's not that bad, guys. But there is a little lag. Okay, so of course, everybody that is on is going to appear first at the top. I have a group created, so I'll show you how to do that in a minute. And then everybody who is offline will appear like this down at the bottom. You do have the ability to, sometimes you'll see at the very bottom, there may be a kid who's on campus in another teacher's room, and you'll see that they're in another teacher's room. You can drag them up, drag their tile up, and check them into your class. So you can manage their screen. So you do have the ability to kind of like check them in. So you can manage their screen. Okay, so for me, it looks like I have this girl, Addison, I have Jalen that are logged in right now. So that's just kind of just like the main screen you would see when you first get in. Let me go over these buttons right here. There's going to be a pause internet button right here. This would be the button you would want to use. So say your kids come in and they're on their Chromebooks and you want everybody's attention. You don't want everybody like clicking wherever when you need to give directions. So you can click this pause internet and everybody will get a pop-up on their screen saying Mrs. Obregon has, what does it say exactly? Miss Obregon has paused your screen, please look forward or something. It says something along the lines of that. And that's kind of like that 1, 2, 3, eyes on me. I need to give instruction and then I can hit unpause and it unlocks all their Chromebooks so they can continue on. And it doesn't close out their tabs or anything. It's just kind of like a, 1, 2, 3, all eyes on me. Kind of I used to teach them to close their Chromebooks when I was like clamshell them while I was giving instructions. This is kind of like that. Here's the web rules, which we'll go over how to do the web rules. This is to resize the thumbnails if you need them bigger and smaller. Okay, and then right here we have full screen. It'll just kind of load up a little bit more for you. And then toggle list view. Toggle list view, some teachers like it. I personally don't like it, but it'll show you, you're going to lose the thumbnails to see their screens, but it'll show you how many sites they've been to, and it will tell you currently what site they're on. I personally like to see the little screens, but some teachers think that's distracting for them. And then we have more options where we can lock the screen, unlock the screen. We can send a link to the entire class. Let's say I want them all to go to nasa.gov. I can click send link and type nasa.gov, and that website will pop up on everybody who is signed in. And this is under the more actions. I can also send a message to the entire class. I'll click that and show you. I can say it's already going to pre-populate some, need help, are you done, great job. But then you can also custom a message, and this message will go out to all students. And then I also have the ability to share my screen. So this is kind of like what I'm doing right now in the Google Meet. I could click share screen and show them something. It's really great for if your projector blows out and you need something. If your projector blows out, the share screen is really nice. So I've instructed some teachers to use that if their projector goes out that day. Here's where you would manually add a student, like this girl Addison that's currently here. She's not one of my students. I just manually added her into the class. And then you also have the option to create groups, which I love creating groups. I'll show you that right now. So let's say I have an intervention group. And there's going to be a small group of kids that are going to be doing an intervention in the back of my classroom with maybe my inclusion support teacher. Okay, so I've created an intervention group, and I can drag kids into these different groups down here that you create. And what's nice about, well, maybe I can. There we go. Oh, I put her in done testing. Okay, she's done testing. We'll put her in that one. And what's nice about this is by dragging them into these groups, when we apply different web rules, it applies just to those groups. So let's say I want to my main class, I want to block the internet for not the internet. I want to block YouTube and Google. I'll show you how to do that in a second for my main class. Any of these groups that I've created can have different rules for them, which is nice. Okay, so you can see Addison's currently on YouTube. I'm going to show y'all how to create those web rules. So right here, it'll say web rules off. If you click on that, you're going to get two options. You're going to get an allow list and a block list. The allow list is going to be kind of a little bit more restrictive because it has to be on that list in order for them to click it. So you do have to kind of think about like everything, like classroom.google.com, anything that you have embedded in Classroom that you want them to go to, you also have to click that. So I usually don't use that one too much. I do use the block list. So if you click block list and toggle over, you can create a new block list and you can give your block list different names. And I'm trying to remember, Dale, I don't know if you'll remember, but I think you can have up to 50 websites on one list.
I don't remember that, but it's certainly possible. And
yeah, I think
so
they said 50.
Are the web rules by class? Like
No.
when you set up web rules? Okay.
Yeah. When you set up a web rule, it'll show up no matter which class you choose.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you don't have to do it in each one. It's not cumbersome or tedious like that. So I have created a no Google, no YouTube one, which just to clarify, they have to, when I click this, they have to already be in to where I need them to be, because if I click that, it blocks them out from going to Google Classroom. So just heads up on that. But it is nice to have a gaming one. Like you don't want them to go into cool math games and all the little gaming websites. And as you discover more of them, you can just copy and paste when you see them going to it. You can copy the URL and go dump it in there, because I learn new ones all the time. So I think I have a list already created. So let me just show you an example. Let me view my list. This one I think just has cool math games and YouTube. Okay, it's not going to let me right now. I'm going to, come on, select list. Okay, so I've selected my list and I'm gonna go ahead and under advanced options down here, you do have to scroll down to see this, just heads up. I miss this all the time. If you scroll down, it'll say advanced options. You have the option to allow full internet access when done. So the students on their side, they can notify you when they're done with their work. Maybe they want to go in and they want to work on work for another class. So instead of you having to like end the whole, what we used to call scenes in GoGuardian, but end the whole web rule, you can click one little button and it will allow them to access whatever they need to access without taking off the web rule for the rest of the class. So I like to click this. You don't have to. And it will now apply my block list to this class. So Addison probably here, because of the lag, it's going to take a few minutes. But then what on her side of the screen will happen is, let me blow this up for you by clicking on it. She'll get this. And I'm sorry if there's a little bit of delay. It'll say like, oops, teacher D. Obregon has blocked this website for now. And it will have your name, which is nice. GoGuardian didn't used to have that. I don't know if y'all had GoGuardian, but it just said somebody was blocking you. You didn't know who. So this will show them exactly what teacher is applying that web rule, which is nice. Okay, so she's blocked right now. So she knows, oh man, I can't be on YouTube. I should probably close out my YouTube. Okay, so she gets off the YouTube link. So if you click on the individual student, you're gonna get some more views here. You're going to see their tile that they're currently on, their tab, excuse me, a little bit more blown up. And if you scroll down, you're going to see all the tabs that they have open. So she has her class link one opened, our high school one. You can see the one that's blocked is the YouTube one I just blocked. And then she is on a AI math solver calculator as well. So I'm able to see that she has that opened up. Across the top, I can click history and I can see all the websites she has been on. So I can see everything that she has used. And this is just for today, but I can also pull up the little calendar and I can click other days as well to see other history. of websites she used. There's also a recording tab. So where I can, from here, I can download, let's say I need to document something that she's doing. I can record from here. And from what I understand, I don't use this much, guys, but what I understand, it's like a whole bunch of pictures that get put together to make the video. I don't ever really use that. But
I think
you
it
do have,
just takes screenshots at a certain seconds interval. You know,
yes,
like every 3 seconds, it'll take a screenshot. So it's not a video, but it's
right.
just, you know, several screenshots. Yeah.
So you do have that option as well. Okay, so this is kind of hard to see when I'm sharing, but there are 3 dots up here by Addison's name in the upper right. And then I have my X if I want to close out this tab. But right underneath that X is the 3 dots. This is your more options, right? I can lock her screen. I can unlock it. If I do lock it, I think it locks for 5 minutes. I can send just her a link. Like if I needed just her to open up something, I can send just her a message. This is just the individual student, not the whole class. If I wanted to share Addison's screen with the rest of the class, I also have that option. Oh, sorry, they're going to interrupt me.
Ms. Ayala, please head over to room 307. Ms. Ayala, please head over
So
to
I have the option to
307.
share her
Thank you.
screen too. So that's there. That's going to be under the individual students. And you can do that for any of them. I only have her logged in right now. And it looks like somebody else who has their browser minimized, but she's probably like in credit recovery or something. But yeah, you do have the option to share a student screen as well. There's record screen. And then if you wanted to remove the student from the group, that's there as well. Like this girl, I'll probably remove her at the end because she's not one of my students. Okay, so that's that. Now, we did a block list, we did a allow list. Something else to show you, it's a little harder because I don't have a lot of students in this class, but you are able to drag the students around on the screen. So if you want to make like a seating chart per se, I don't know if you can't do like groups of 4, groups of 5 or anything. They're set up in like columns and rows, but you do have the ability to drag them around. I don't use that feature, but I just want you to know you could drag them around if you needed to sort them on the left side, some on the right, you know, you could do that. The only thing is, and that will save, by the way. So like if you were to sign out and come in tomorrow, the way you dragged them would still be there. The only time it won't is if you come up here and you resize the thumbnails. If you change the size of their screens, you'll lose that work you did. But I don't usually use that. I leave them in alphabetical order and yeah. Okay, does anybody have any questions real fast about those features I just showed you? Or Dale, did anything coming in the chat about those specific features?
No, nothing
Okay.
since last time.
Okay, perfect. So some other things that are kind of like my favorites that Go Guardian did not have is, do y'all see right here where it has Addison's name, and in this area right below her name, there's like these little purple sparkles. You see it's like 3 little star sparkles. That tells me that sometime during this session, she has used AI. Okay, which I can obviously see on her screen. She's using a math solving website, Mathos AI. I don't know what that is. Miss Smith may be able to tell us, but she probably would get kids trying to use this site more than anybody. But anyways, yeah, but it could be anything from, I've had, and there are some things that get flagged as AI that I didn't even think had AI built into it. But if it's considered, nope, now you know, add it to your block list. Yep, Ms. Smith, add it to your block list. But yeah, as you come across things, you'll be like, wow, I didn't even know that had AI built into it. You'd be surprised. There's a lot of things getting rolled out that do have some little small AI component to them. If you're having kids use Padlet or even Canva, you may even get that pop up because there's AI built into that. So if it's images and stuff too, image generators, that would pop up. So obviously it's just to let you know, it's not necessary. You may be okay with them creating an image using AI, right? So it's just to let you know that sometime they have used that. What's also nice.
Let's just real quick, let's not all panic if you see AI used, because
Yeah, no.
most AI is not generative AI. most AI is just assisting you based on things you've done in the past. So we don't always necessarily have to say, oh no, AI, we can't use that. We all use it in Gmail. So, be a little open with it.
Yes. And like I said, if it's like a picture thing, it will pop up. Other things it won't. So I do like it though, because even if like she's obviously using right now, she's using some math equation solving homework helper. Even if she closes this out, it still stays on there. So it still lets me know, even if I walk by and she closed it out, I'm still able to tell that she had that. And guys, I don't sit around my computer. I let this run and I'm teaching, but then sometimes I'm like, oh, that's lovely. She used Math.io or Math AI, Mathos AI. I don't even know what it's called. Anyways, so it's nice to kind of just keep it running because then you can find out at the end of class. So another icon that's not popping up right now, but you could see right here next to this is a little orange eyeball. And for the longest time, I was like, what is this eyeball that is popping up? Because I would see my whole class and it would only be on like 1 or 2 kids' screens. And I finally figured out what the eyeball is, guys. The eyeball is just showing you that there's some sort of unusual browsing happening that is possibly off topic. The kid may be watching a video on Vimeo or something. They may be like, they're doing some sort of unusual browsing. It doesn't necessarily mean like it's bad. The eyeball is just there to say, hey, this kid's probably off task. You should go look at them. That's what the eyeball is there for. So, and it may have been that they had gone to a website or a tab and was watching basketball on YouTube and then they closed it out. But it's just to kind of let you know, hey, that they have some sort of unusual browsing history. Keep an eye on them. That's what the eyeball means. So it's really easy to remember. You see the eye, probably go check on that kid. They're probably off task. And like I said, it would only be like 2 or 3 of them in my class, which sounds about right. Sounds about right to me. So that's the eyeball. That's probably my 2 favorite features that GoGuardian didn't have that I really like. I do like how the sparkles will pop up and the eyeball will pop up as well. Okay, now that's about as far as the features go. Off to the left, this is brand newish. And I don't even know if you'll see it on your screen yet. You'll have to check for me, but it'll say my classes and teaching team. So if I click teaching team, I'm able to add my inclusion support or a co-teacher. This is where I would add them on. So let's say that, like you can see, I already added Mr. Flores here. He's one of my inclusion support teachers. He was not in the system though, Dale. Like we had to add him, because he doesn't have rostered kids, but
right.
Yeah, but we got him added in and he will utilize the program to just monitor kids' computer screens the same as I would, but he may have them for small group testing in the library.
So he only, if you have him in a group with you, he only sees your classes, correct?
Yes, that's correct. He only sees my classes and I'm able to edit his access and I can I'm able to change the date. Like say it's a student teacher from UTSA and I want her to have access for these 2 months. You can set like a start date and an end date when you want them to have access. And you can also change, do you want them to have full access, limited? He's just able to watch. He's not able to do anything. He's just able to watch. You can also have a substitute if you have a permanent sub situation. You can give permanent sub access as well. Unless they're really techie, I probably wouldn't do that. I'm just saying. But I'm like, I would let them just try and manage the class. But if they are really techie, you could do that. So yeah, that is a newer feature. Some of your co-teachers or your inclusion support teachers may love it. Some may not care for it. Maybe they're not super techie. But like I said, you can still always in your classes, I'm going to go back to my second period. I found it's really helpful for me to create those groups and I'll sort my kids into the groups that I know that are going to be going to the library with Mr. Flores. And I'll just have that running. Let me get back into my second period. And one more time, if you missed that, how to create groups, it is on your main screen. Right here will be 3 dots, and you can create those groups right there, create group. Now, I have YouTube being blocked for my 2 girls that are up here, but maybe my kids that are done testing, maybe Jalen will put her in the done testing. Maybe I want to go ahead and make sure that, see, I moved her. So now there's no web rules. So she would be able to go to YouTube if she wanted to. So you can apply specific web rules to those different groups. So that's really nice. And it's really easy to just drag the kids in and out. The kids are also, I don't know if I'll be able to show you this. Maybe I can. Let me see on her screen. The kids on their screen, in the Omnibox at the top where they enter the URL, they're going to have that little puzzle piece. And when they click that puzzle piece, they're going to have a class link extension. So on that, if they click that, I'm going to do it for Addison real fast. Let me see. Give me a second. I got to pin it. Okay. Well, it's not letting her. There is a way, because the kids all have the class link extension. There is a way, and you'd have to teach your kids how to do this. Bye, Miss Smith. They can click on the little extension, and they'll get a drop down that says, I'm done. I need help. I have a question. And on your screen, it'll pop up like right here on Addison. It'll have a little exclamation point, or it'll have a green check saying she's done with her work or she has a question. So I am not seeing it on hers right now. I've only used it once with my kids, honestly. And it was just when they were taking a test. I just told them to click it so that way I could dump them into a different group so they could get into Google Classroom and work on other work for teachers while the rest of them were still being filtered. But they do have that option. You just have to teach them how to go pin the class link. It's right here, like in the little puzzle piece. You'll have to tell them to go pin it, and they can use that to click, I'm done, I have a question, and it'll pop up on your screen.
Oh,
And you
I
can
like
also,
that. I didn't know that.
yeah. And then like right here, it's kind of hidden. I wish it was in a different spot, but it says filter by status. There's a little drop down. You'll be able to see how many kids are done with little green checks. You can filter them if you have a large class, or how many need help. That's also right there. I kind of like don't like where that lives, but that's also right there. Yeah. So guys, that's about it. I mean, that's like the basis. Is pretty user friendly. Yeah, it's pretty user friendly. You just need to get in and kind of start to play with it and create those lists. And I always like to have like honestly, guys, I really just use the no YouTube, no Google one, but you can create a no gaming one. Kind of like everybody has their own set of kids that tend to be drawn to certain things. So your block list can be geared to your level and what you know your kids are going to be going to. The allow list also has advanced options too, which will allow that single sign-on. That'll allow them to still go to anything on their class link screen too. So that's kind of hidden as well. So that's about that. So I'm going to stick around and answer questions. I want to answer all y'all's questions. Let me see.
Yeah, if you have any questions, enter them in. Also, please do the feedback form. We use that religiously to get everybody's feedback on our trainings. Yeah, if you have any questions, hang around and you can unmute if you need to, or you guys have a great evening. Thanks for attending, and thank you, Donielle.
Yeah, of course. The HOCO real quick. What's that?
Ad hoc. It's
Oh,
coming
of
back
course.
ad hoc.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm just going to go back to my main screen that says my classes. And the ad hoc is just kind of like starting a class on the fly. So let me let this load. And you would just choose, I think I have most of mine are all on an ad hoc schedule, except for my CCR is auto scheduled. But you'll click on your class. Oh, wait, let me end a class, just a sec. I should probably just done another one. I just choose a different one. I love my internet right now. I'm loving it. Oh my gosh, come on. Ah, there we go. Some movement, some life. It's been like this all day. Okay, I'm gonna click on a class that's not in session. Okay, so it's telling me it's currently not in session. So you have a couple different options. You can just click right here, view ad hoc. This is where you can also change the name of your class if you want. And then down here, it's going to say schedule. Ad hoc will be the first one. And you'll have a drop down for how long you want to start the class. And remember, ad hoc's just kind of like starting any class you want on the fly. So I can just choose, oh, I want to run this class for 45 minutes, or I want to run it for 2 hours. And I click start. Oh, I have it set up to where I can't be longer than 60 minutes. Okay. And then I click start. Oh, okay. Well, maybe I don't. There we go. Maybe I'm choosing 15 minutes. Come on. There it goes. And it will start my class. Oh, look at Larry's in credit recovery playing a game instead of doing his work. Busted.
Document.
So this is an ad hoc. So, I mean, I technically could go message Larry right now and be like, aren't you supposed to be working on schoolwork while you're in credit
Donielle,
recovery?
is he one of your students?
He is. He's in my 3rd period chemistry class, but he's in the...
you'll just see your own students, right?
Yes, I'm just seeing my own students,
Okay.
but he is logged on somewhere in the building. He's logged on somewhere, and all the rest of my kids are offline right now. So my
Gotcha.
guess is he's sitting in the cafeteria right now in credit recovery. So this will just run for 15 minutes, and then it will auto stop all by itself. See, it'll say right here, 14 minutes remaining for this ad hoc class. So I just started up a quick session. Sometimes I do this just to kind of see if my kids are working. They're like, oh, I'm going to go to so-and-so's class and I'm going to work on it. So I start up the class to check.
So we've had a lot of people contact, or I've had a lot of people contact me trying to get their ISS people, resource
Yes.
people access, because they don't generally, they're not rostered, right? They don't have classes. They're not the teacher of record for anybody.
Okay.
So they're not automatically rostered. So what I've been doing, if they'll contact me, or your admin will contact me and say, we need accounts for these people, I'm manually adding them, like Donielle, like you had to do.
Yes.
I'm manually adding them in just users. I'm putting them on the campus they're supposed to be on, and then I'm making them a campus admin so they have access to all the students on the campus, and they can just go add those students as they need to.
Yeah,
Like
and it's
if a
pretty
student's
easy.
an ISS, it's very
so
easy.
there's 2 different ways. You probably don't even need to do all of that. When my screen unfreezes here, I can show you. But I know our ISS teachers, I think all of them but one have rostered classes because they teach other things. But I just created, wish you could see right now, I created just a class, an ISS class. And like I just did with this girl, I just had to give her, I had to type the URL or give her the URL. She typed it, and on my screen, I clicked allow in this class. It was really easy, but I did have to give her that link. So it could be something that, like, as an ISS teacher, I write the link for the day on the board because kids are going to come in. Let's say there's a fight during lunch and they bring them into ISS, or they have an issue and they bring a kid in from skipping. You have that link written on the board. Be like, you have to go to this link right now. Get on a computer, go to this link, and then they can click yes. That works really good. Yeah, that's what I would do for that.
Join with the code instead of with the.
Yes, and it's a URL. And I don't know why I'm completely locked up right now, but let's see if I hit refresh. I'll show you where that lives too, if you want to see. So here's my ISS class. I'm going to see how it says no students enrolled, and it says that I could upload a CSV file. I'm not doing that.
Right.
I go up here, more actions, and I go to add student. And there's the email address. I always get an error message when I do the email address. So I go to the invite code, and this is the URL that I put or I project or I write on the board. And what will happen is when you give this to the kid, you will get a little red pop-up right here that says accept invite. And you click on that and they're now in the class. And that's what I've done with that girl I was just showing you.
Okay.
So that's that. Yeah, blocking certain sites, of course. I'll show you. Let me get into my class I have going right now. So you would select a class. And they're called web filter rules. Web rules is what they're called. That's when you would want to block sites. So right now it says my web rules are off. You want to go ahead and just click on this. And this is where you can manage your web rules. So I like to click the block list, and I would create a new block list. And here is where you can copy and paste your URLs. So I can type that I don't want them to go to coolmathgames.com. Is that one? Let's see. I don't want them to go to, I don't know, what's another one? What's this Math.io one? Math GPT Pro, mathgptpro.com. I definitely don't want them going there. So I say update list. Oh, it's invalid. I don't know guys, I don't know the URL for Cool Math Games apparently. Crud. Math. You have to, it's easy. It's much easier to copy and paste them, just so you know. gptpro.com. Okay, let's see if it will accept that one. Maybe. I don't know. What is the Cool Math? Cool Math. What is the URL? I don't know, guys. I copy and paste. Here it is right here. Coolmathgames.com. I'm just going to copy and paste. Yeah. There we go. Copy, paste it in there. I don't want that one. There we go. That one's probably not going to go. So anyways, you can add your list, and I think you can have up to 50 for a list, which is like a whole bunch. You just hit update. Oh gosh, it still wants. There we go. Update list. And I have a new list now. And you can, I didn't title my list, but you can give your list different names right here. There's a little pencil. I would call this my no gaming list. And I can put all the games that the kids like to go to while they're not supposed to be going to them. So yeah, if I wanted to go ahead and apply this list now, I would select this list, apply this list, and now Addison would not be able to go to Cool Math Games. And let's see, Cool Math Games. On her computer, she's going to try and access Cool Math Games on Google right now, and she's going to get blocked.